Hi, welcome to No Construction. This is definitely probably going to be over 10 minutes. I mean, obviously, you can see the time deal right in the bottom corner there. All right, let's get a little more centered. Um, yeah, so I'm going to read what I read at Commissioner's comments today and then do my commentary about what I said, why I said it, uh, and then I'll go on to something else. Hopefully, I can remember. All right, and again, the main point of me going to commissioner's court is so that when I do this, nobody can say I'm doing it behind their back. I'm not willing to say it to their face. I don't think people should say things behind closed doors that they're not willing to say to someone's face. Uh, you know, so yeah, there's that. Yeah, all right, someone lit fireworks on my property before the rain. That could have easily led to the fire like the one in Florence. I think it was around a 10-acre fire. I haven't seen it, but it is said to be around that, I believe. And of course, California once again has several thousand-acre fire going on. Or more people, more problems. Take a guess where my finger's going to point if my property burns due to arson. Just think if the county accepted my new way of combating fires, there's a good chance it could have lessened the Florence fire. Instead, money is spent on ways that ruin residents' lives, putting more in danger and further straining our responders. Look at Houston. Pavement doesn't absorb water. There will be a special links on my YouTube video today. Boom, I actually got to it today. I'm at No Construction, all one word. The links are actually in the last video. Excuse me, allergies. In the last video called July Special 1. And if you didn't go through the other specials, your first time watching this, the specials are things that don't necessarily have to do with commissioner's court or something I think about, because if I wait to the commissioner's uh, court review this type deal, I'm probably going to, oh, man, allergies, huh? Probably going to forget it. So I'm doing it while it's fresh on my mind. And that's really all the special is going to be. And they're going to be whatever the month is, the word special, and then the number. So every month I'll be restarting the number. So if I get to, if I just do one or two specials this month, well, still in August, I'm going to start over at August special 1, so on and so forth. People have the right to do what they want with their property. It doesn't negate my right to protect mine. All this construction raises taxes, forcing people to sell. I'm told repeatedly it's a landowner's choice. What about those who had their property along with mineral rights stolen recently? They didn't want to sell, so the county stole their land. If the county has the power to steal, it inherently has the power to leave alone. I say go steal that Wolf Ranch development we're paying for. If it's between the owner and contractor, then why is everyone else paying for it? Local has citizens working as much as they can and still not making a living income. As far as I can see, the county and cities are doing what they can to make living unaffordable, much like San Francisco started 30 years ago, now Austin. That's not considering the limits of resources. June 27th, an Austin library closed due to lack of water. On the 1st, another Austin business closed because taxes are too high. And we're back. The Romans built much like we are now. They didn't take care of they didn't care about agriculture, and it helped lead to their collapse. The mines expanded beyond their food supply. Easter Island destroyed their ag by building. All gone, and we're following the same path. Money was acknowledged as a problem. I can solve that, but the county doesn't seem to have the same desire. I now ask local citizens. We have to plan something different because at our current vector, our fate is sealed. We could be the unstoppable force of the immovable object. Nothing says the object is infinite size, nor the force unable to change its course. I didn't say that last sentence. The immovable object stuff. Uh, I just forgot to save when I closed my little notepad deal. I've met with the county twice. Both times I put my solutions where my mouth was located. They raised issue with me wanting to use our taxes on solutions I've either come across or came up with myself that'll bring money into the county at a fraction of the cost being spent to destroy us. Oh, man. Ugh. I've had nothing but time for the last 8 years to run the ideas through their paces. The county will give the floor to THF, whose actions will raise our taxes, but not those. I do apologize for the allergy deal. I don't have any computing power I have. It's not enough to do any any real editing. I can cut off an end. I can cut off the beginning, but I can't really edit. So that's why these, no one's watching it. So why am I going to put that effort in there? But not willing to give the floor to somebody willing to solve our problems. I bet my life if I write a valid check for the entire amount of our debt. Until I hand the check over, I wouldn't be able to give away, or I wouldn't be able to get away from Wilco and city politicians. To those that have an issue with me wanting to use county or city funds to better our lives and not the personal funds I don't have, next time you run for election, don't accept donations or party support. Run your campaign with your own personal money. And then, of course, due to their actions, they make living unaffordable even for themselves. But how they solve that problem for themselves is they give themselves raises. And I know it's not a local politician only doing that. They do it in the government. I mean, you got people busting their butts for as many hours as they can possibly work, and congressmen, senators, all that stuff. I think they start out at like $300 some odd thousand a year. It's ridiculous. All right, it's going to go black again. We'll start at the top to talk about the points. All right, so yeah, before the rain, somebody decided to light fireworks on my property. The reason I said it could easily let to a fire is because it was before the rain. And if I wasn't going to town when I did, it could have very easily, led to a ranch fire. If at the end of the driveway, there's two fields that actually grow something, but one field still had some dry plant. I forgot the name of it. Dry plants, and the fire was smoldering. All right, would it stop smoldering? I don't know. All right, fireworks don't tend to do that. So if a big enough ember, really all it would take is a spark to flow in the field next to me, and that would have went up, which would have lit my property on fire, and probably the next after that. I mean, there would have been, I would say, at least, if the whole thing burnt, at minimum 40 acres. I would think, 30. I would say minimum 30. Real close to that. But by the time fire trucks would get there, I would say a good almost 10 acres would have to be burnt because, there's no fire hydrants out where I live. Hey, that's how I choose to live. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying that we would have to deal with the fire that's in their trucks, and the trucks would have to go back and forth to refill. And Mr. Cowbelaw, I'm telling you, he has it right. Most of the fire stations are on Williams Drive in Georgetown. And then, I didn't know this, but Sun City has their own personal fire station that they're not willing to share. So having fire stations right where they're at, all bunched together, that means a lot of people aren't going to get the fire rescue they should be able to receive if they need it. And that's the whole purpose of the fire station and the fire trucks, is in case. I mean, yeah, there will be, but you don't know where that fire is going to be. It's an in case. And then I guess while we're on the subject of fire, I'll talk about some of the last stuff I talked about. My solution to combat fire: one police car could have dealt with that a recent fire in Florence. A police car, not modified really in any way. Nothing that wouldn't be, I would say, cosmetic. You don't have to add a compartment. You don't uh, have to change the body in some. No, one police car and one officer could have handled that fire in Florence, and it wouldn't have even gotten to 10 acres. Uh, the stuff in California, one fire truck would have been able to do enough so that fire doesn't get that big. One fire truck. Possibly still only one police car. It might have been at most three police cars with my idea to stop fires. But our county would rather spend money on developments that's between the landowner and contractor. But hey, let's spend everybody's money on it. That'll in turn raise our taxes and screw us over. Again, Mr. Cowbelaw today mentioned that there's people paying $10,000 a year in taxes. Holy crap. All right, I can't imagine a relatively a modest house on a quarter acre or so. We'll give it an acre, paying 10 grand a year. I can't imagine what those jobs require. Uh, what their jobs are that pay so much. Because I get what, a little over $7,000 a year. No, granted, I don't work. Medical disability from the military. But holy cow, they're killing us through taxes, and that's why just because somebody sells their property doesn't mean it's their will to sell it. Now, the second time I met with the county, I don't know if that person was lying, but they said, "Oh, well, I plan to sell, go move with the kids," and I'm like, okay, if the taxes weren't going where they were going, if your pleasure of living in the area you were living in wasn't being destroyed, would you still move? And they had to think about it, which tells me no, they wouldn't move. Again, actions speak louder than words. And that brings me to the other half of all this. Uh, if the county spent half as much effort trying to prevent me and stop me, persuade me to no longer go to commissioner's court, I can't imagine. I can't, it'll be like those people that complain about, oh, I wish this celebrity got this role instead of this one. That's what everybody's complaint would amount to. If the county spent half as much effort as they do trying to stop me from going to commissioner's court. Today alone, the county approached me and said, no one's paying attention to you. They're ignoring you. Maybe. They probably are. But you know what? I'll at least be able to say I told you so. And in the military, yeah, people ignored me when I had something to say. All right? And then the situation happens, and they go, oh, really? Hey, Red, we could have prevented this if we listened to you. What else do you have to say? It's literally the story of my life. I'm trying to prevent it. It's going to happen. Then it'll come to me and ask for a solution. Now, it may not happen this time. It doesn't happen every time. But I'm doing what I can to prevent the problems coming in. That's why I always relate to cities in California, New York, and now Austin. It's because it's not me, like, foreseeing the future like a fortune teller. It's understanding the past to predict the future. All right? Whether people learn history or not, they don't exercise its knowledge, and it repeats. I say again, the American Revolution. What a daunting task that must have looked like. Knowing that if they lost, they're all dead one way or another. At least the instigators of the war. You know, same thing with women's rights, equal rights. How daunting that must have been. And I'm sure the American Revolution, even the people that didn't like the British, said, "Oh, this can't happen. It's not going to work." They run the world, or at least half of it. But they still moved forward. Same with equal rights. They, black people were beaten, shot. I mean, like they are today, but you know, it, it was a whole lot more of that happening. There would be mobs of people looking for black people just to fucking hassle. But still, they dredged on. So yeah, fine. Have them ignore me. It's nothing new. It's not hurting my feelings. It's just what it is. I just can't imagine how much better Williamson County life would be if they paid attention. And I hear some people for the county that aren't really great people anymore, or ain't, or not great people right now, that were at one time, but they were corrupted. You know? So I'm sure deep down somewhere they know what they're doing is wrong. They still know how to stop it. And again, that's where they go, oh, well, it's a money issue. Well, maybe you could buy that farm, run the farm as a county business, if you just spend so much millions of dollars uh, building developments that are between the contractor and the owner, former owner of the property. Why is our money being spent for that? The county's answer is, well, because they help us build the roads. The roads we wouldn't need if that development wasn't there. It's a vicious little cycle. So you didn't do developments, which also raises taxes. Then the roads, which also raises taxes. And we're not even taking care of what we have. Now, yes, the roads outside my house and a little bit beyond that have been taken care of. But I had to break down like a little kid in the store not getting his little candy bar to get it done. I had to go through myself to persuade them to take care of the roads. And it's still not, I'm saying it next week, but more is done for new residents than, in Sun City than, more is done for newcomers in Sun City than for people that have been living here for 30 years or more. The people that have been living here for a long time and are complaining about this, they're told to leave, go, move. You don't like it, go. I don't understand that. Are you kidding? It's not right to tell anybody that, especially when their taxes are being paid no matter how high they are. But on top of that, you're telling a veteran, well, if you don't like it, go. The cojones on this county. But I'm not deterred. What they're saying, me being ignored, people don't care what I say, it's not emboldening me, dig my heels in more. I'm there till it's changed. That was my plan. I thought, all right, fine, I'll go there once, I'll go there twice, possibly 3 times, and then things will change. Somebody will be willing to talk to me and figure things out. No. And I repeated my first speech twice so that they know I mean business. I'm not just, oh, I'm off today. I can go to commissioner's court and complain. No, no, no. I can only really, at the best of times, see a third of the sky. And that speaks to how much pollution there is in the sky because of all these people coming to the area. Fine. It's not so much the sky that I'm complaining about, but it's the sign of how much pollution there is. That I can only see a third of it. I measured it a few weeks ago, and I thought it was 70 degrees, but it was like 65 degrees with a telescope. I think it's actually 30 degrees. 7 degrees up with the naked eye is the lowest I can see, to lowest of the horizon. I can see a star with the naked eye, but like 65 degrees with the telescope. Uh, you know, so that's only 60 degrees of field of view I could possibly see at the best of times. That's a lot of pollution. A lot. You know, I remember just a few years ago, people around setting off fireworks. You really had to look to see where the fireworks would come from. Not now. Just look for the bright flashes reflecting off the pollution in the air. And we're paying our bills, paying our taxes, because we want to live in an area where we don't have to smell the city. We don't have to deal with the city noise. And because we don't like our lives being intruded upon, we're told to leave. And again, in case you didn't see it, when my family first moved to the area, we were told in no uncertain terms, conform to our ways or leave. Now, I'm one of two people trying to protect that. Yeah, I mean, you got me on how that makes sense. I guess that's it. Let me look through my speech real quick to see if there's anything. Okay, I talked about the cities, the money. Yeah, I think that's all. Thank you for watching No Construction. See you next week.